Okay, we're back here to talk about the employment part of your resume, which is the most important part of your resume. So we want to make sure that you have the job description in front of you of the job you're looking for. And if you haven't found that job, then you need to start looking for that job, because the job description needs to match and fulfill the tasks that you're able to provide to that company. And when we're trying to tell a company who we are, we need our job description to match their job description. So our employment should match exactly what they're looking for in their job description. So you're going to look for key terms. Are they looking for you to be a team player? Are they looking for you to have impact in certain areas? These are things that you're going to want to look for so that you can write those down. And in your bullet points, you're going to have 4 to 5 bullets. And each bullet is going to relate to some type of task in that job description. And we need impactful things on your employment history. So we need you to put something that is going to be a positive, a impactful, empowering word when you start off your sentence. So when you talk about team building, you're going to say, I empowered. So that's going to be the first word you're going to say. Empowered 10 individuals to create the impact that they were looking for. So if they're asking you to do a sales job, then you're going to want to say, don't start with I. Say empowered 10 individuals to create 10% increase in sales. That way you're showing your impact. So you are a team player because you helped 5 people raise their sales by 5%, and it was an increase. And that's the type of person a company wants to hire, is people who have results. If you are a person that they're looking to focus on sales, then you're going to want to put a lot of emphasis on what? Communication, because people need to be able to express to their customer what they're looking for. So in communication, you're going to want to use a word that starts with something about communication that's impactful. So you can say proactively communicated or was a liaison for so-and-so departments. It could be 3 to 4 different departments, or maybe it was the marketing and finance department, depending on what that job description is telling you your customer or clientele is going to be. So if you're a marketing director, you're going to want to focus on the marketing part of communicating. If you're a finance person, then you're going to want to focus on financial communications. And you can use key financial terms, but make sure you don't go too high level, because a lot of the time people who are receiving your resume are not going to be high level people. They're going to be people who are specifically looking for key terms in your job description. We also see computers searching key terms. So you could even use some of the impactful words that are in the job description. If they used empowered, you use empowered. If they used proactive, you use proactive, because those are going to be triggers. And that's truly what we're just trying to do, is get our foot in the door, because what's going to sell the job is you and who you are and your personality. But we got to get you through that door. So those are the things I want you to focus on. 4 to 5 things for a bullet point. Each bullet point needs to say something about what's in the job description. And you're not done, because if you do that for one job, you got to do that for every single job that you're applying for, because they want you to be the perfect person for them. And you can't be the perfect person for Microsoft and for Apple, because it's 2 different companies looking for 2 different types of people. So that's why I want to make sure to emphasize that one resume does not fit all resumes. And so those are the important parts of the bullets. And for the basics, I hope you already know this, but you need to make sure you have your title of your job. So if you were a marketing director, then you're going to put marketing director. how long you've been there, and you need to use a month and a year. You can't just use a year because they're looking to see if you've been in a job continuously and that you have no employment gaps. Because if you have employment gaps, you got to explain why. And so make sure that you put the month and the year, and then you'll put the company that you worked for. And depending on if your company that you worked for is a e-commerce company and you're applying for e-commerce company, then you would want to emphasize the company that you worked for, and that could be in the bold letters. And if it's like maybe you're working in healthcare and now you want to work in e-commerce, you would want to emphasize marketing director because you're applying for that marketing director job, but now you want to move into e-commerce instead of healthcare. So depending on the type of job you're searching for and the type of industry, that is the type of bold that you want to use in your employment history. So which one is more important? And use the same font size. I don't recommend making it bigger. The only thing that should be bigger is your name. Other than that, your whole entire resume should have the same font size. And so using bold and italics is the way to emphasize. But those are the key ways of making your employment history be rock star. And make sure that you use reverse chronological, which means that you're going to use your most recent job in the top and your last job at the bottom. So it's going to say if you were in high school and you worked at Sonic and that was your first job, then you're going to put that. And now you're a coordinator, so then currently you're a coordinator and you're going to be, that's the job that's going to be at the top, because people want to know what you're doing right this minute. And yes, they care about what you did before, but mainly they want to know what you're doing right now. And let's say you worked at Sonic 20 years ago, don't put that on your resume. They just want to know what you've done in the last 10 years. If you're a student, don't feel bad about not having a job. You can use other things like volunteer work and internships, and you can really put emphasis on your education. If you feel like I don't really have a lot of employment history, maybe you had worked for a family friend in the summer, you could always use that person as a reference to what you've done in your past. But they just want to know, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? What have you done in the past? And are you a consistent worker? Do you continuously go from one job to the other and you have no stability, or do you have a long-term employment? And it's okay to change jobs. You just need to show them that I change jobs because I'm growing, not because I just don't feel like working. They want to see a consistency. So those are some of the things that they're going to be looking for. If you have any questions, go ahead and email us at info@uncommonprovision.com. I'd love to help you out. Other than that, just rewind the video, listen again, and try to figure out what words you're going to use and how you're going to change the mind of that person reading your resume and get your foot in the door.